kids.
You had me at hello.
I wish I knew how to quit eating bugs.
This seems so weird.
There's no place like home.
I'm gonna make him an offer to down with you.
Hey, and welcome to a Gone Through special. We're talking about the Emmy Awards. A show that both me and Chad probably know some of them, but yeah, we're probably going to be saying we haven't seen a lot of these shows for the most part, but it's still going to be fun talking about them regardless. But Chad, how are you going?
Hey, it's going great for me. I'm glad you asked me to come on and chat about TV. I love TV. It's just, as a TV and movie fan, it's hard to see everything. But I'm slowly trying to catch up with new and older shows that I've missed and fill in a lot of gaps. But, I've seen a few this year, so I'm excited to talk about this.
Yeah. But yeah, we are going to go through every single category because there's so many different ones because they have lots. But I'm going to go over the main ones like the comedy, drama, limited, and stuff like that. But I'm going to move backwards up to comedy. And the first one I'm going to bring up is outstanding voiceover performance in a series. And nominated, we've got F. Murray Abraham for Moon Knight, Julie Andrews for Bridgerton, the late Chadwick Boseman for What If, Maya Rudolph for Big Mouth, Stanley Tucci for Central Park, the late Jessica Walter for Archer, and Jeffrey Wright for What If. Chad, what are your thoughts about the Outstanding Voiceover Award?
I'm actually trying to find this so I can look over them again.
It'll be right at the bottom there. It should, when you go to the category, it should be right at the bottom.
Okay.
Or near the bottom anyway.
I might be a little. What website are you on?
I'm on the official Emmy website.
That's why I'm on variety.com. All right, let me go to the Emmys website. This will make this a lot easier, and then it'll go smoother from now on. Okay. Let's see. How do you navigate the categories in here? Next category. See, lead actor, lead actress. So you're talking about voices right now, correct?
Yeah. So just to make it easier.
Are you doing like share screen or something?
Yep, it should be up there now.
Oh, look at that. All right. Yes. That's right. F. Murray Abraham was the voice of the god in Moon Knight. Yeah. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, I remember Chadwick Boseman, I think, was very, very special because of his passing, and it was like one of the last things that he recorded for the MCU. I'm not a big Archer fan, but I do know Jessica Walters, really great actress. I love her on Arrested Development. Stanley Tucci is always great, but I don't know that show. And then Big Mouth, I'm not a fan of. Bridgerton, I haven't seen. And then Jeffrey Wright, I think his voice is pretty great. But for this, I would give it to probably F. Murray Abraham. I thought he was really great.
Yeah, because like this year, the Marvel shows really didn't get a lot of love. But in voiceovers where they kind of got a few of the awards. Just to put it out there because we're not going to cover them, Moon Knight did get about, I think it got 8 nominations, but it was all in the sort of costume stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, but for me, this is a tough one to pick because as much as I'd like to say, like, and F. Murray Abraham or Jeffrey Wright could win this because I think their voices, and What If and Moon Knight respectively, are iconic to the show.
Yeah,
I'm kind of worried they're going to go for either Jessica Walter or Chadwick Boseman, just because they did pass. But
yeah.
That being said, I wouldn't be too upset about that either because I think they do a good job.
Yeah, I'd be okay with kind of like I mean, they're always great in everything that they do, Chadwick and Jessica. So it's like, I wouldn't be mad at that because I feel like it's quality plus it's like kind of like a legacy type of thing. Like like Chadwick was also like snubbed at the Oscars too. So
yeah, but moving backwards, I'm going to go to outstanding animated program,
okay,
which may or may not be on the variety page as well.
I'm
But
on
we've
Emmys
got
now, but
yeah. But the nominations we have for outstanding animated program is Arcane, League of Legends, Bob's Burgers, Rick and Morty, The Simpsons, and What If. At least Bob's Burgers and The Simpsons are probably regular fixtures in this category. I feel like, if like The Simpsons, I feel like it's been nominated every year it's existed. And Bob's Burgers is I mean, I'm slightly surprised Family Guy didn't make it in, but that like that show seems to be more polarizing for some reason. But like for me, that I'd probably have to give it to What If for this one, because I think with What If sort of coming in with this animation style, and I think it made its best with the animation style. It didn't make it look comic booky and all that. I think did a really good job, and I think it deserves to take out Simpsons. Chad, what do you think about animated program?
yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched The Simpsons and I know you said it wasn't nominated, but Family Guy either, or I mean, in a long time. And I think like those are like really great, like long running ones, but I think they kind of dip in and out of quality from like what I've heard. And then for What If, I personally wouldn't go with that one because I was interested in it, but like I didn't really. It was one of those where, I mean, even like overall, I think the Disney Channel or Disney Channel, Disney Plus Marvel series, haven't really been in love with most of them, but this one I think I'd rank last personally. I understand why some people really dig that one, but personally, yeah, I couldn't even really finish it to be honest. So I wouldn't say that it would be one. I do need to go and actually finish it. I've heard a lot of great things about Arcane. I know people say you don't need to play League of Legends to actually enjoy Arcane, but I haven't seen it, so I can't really speak on that one. I have seen Bob's Burgers and Rick and Morty. I think both are great. I just watched the Bob's Burgers movie, and I thought that was very, very funny and unique. And so I probably, even though I haven't seen either of the like latest seasons of either, I'd probably just knowing the programs would give it to Bob's Burgers because I think it's so unique and hilarious, like pretty much every second of it. So um, that would be my pick is Bob's Burgers. Although Rick and Morty is also pretty brilliant most of the time. I do love Dan Harmon.
I've not heard of Amphibia, but I think it's well. I mean, honestly, I think when it comes to Disney Channel shows, I think they're not going to appeal to Emmy voters.
There's not like also like many just shows that I'm sitting here thinking of like about like snubs for animated. I'm like, I know a lot of people were talking about Invincible. Like that was one that
Yeah.
people said was amazing and weird it didn't get nominated.
Um,
Amazon Plus or Amazon Prime or whatever.
but you one I'm going to go to quickly just because, well, we are an Oscar channel, might as well talk about this one. Go to outstanding variety special live for last year. And nominated we have live in front of a studio audience, the Facts of Life Different Strokes thing. The Grammy Awards are nominated. Our good friend the Oscars. Broadway's back. And the Super Bowl halftime show with Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, and all those guys. Chat, anyone there that sort of stands out?
Okay, I'm at your section now. I see it. Well, I gotta say I do love me some Eminem and Kendrick Lamar. Those are two of my artists that I really really like. I don't remember watching that though. I'm not a big football person. A lot of the times, I was at some point where I was a little bit bigger into actually watching the games and watching the halftime shows and stuff. But I've kind of fell out of that. I don't really think it's like that interesting anymore. Like, a lot of the times I just don't like the politics of like where they have to, maybe not politics, but the way like where they have to pay for their own uh way in. It's not like they get paid or something. I don't know, all of that whole stuff behind the scenes, but so I just don't really enjoy that. The Oscars, Oscars have been kind of getting a little bit on a decline. I didn't hate like the last ceremony, and the Grammys I can't stand. I think they constantly choose the wrong things, but I like different styles of music. I think I do. Wait, we're not. No, this is production. Okay. Ugh. I think I'm ruling out every single one you've said. Actually, it was the Grammys, the live in front of a studio audience. I didn't see that. And then
There was
the
that
Os-
Broadway's back show. I think it was a special live show that announcing that Broadway's back now after the pandemic.
I'd probably give it to. I'd give it to the Super Bowl, I guess. Personally, if I'd had to choose one.
Yeah, I mean, for me, and like, despite like the what gets chosen to win at the Oscars and all that, I think the production of this year's Oscars was actually pretty good.
Okay.
Because um because I think they made sure it flowed good, and they didn't do some random search through of categories to try and hype up a dead actor winning best actor at the end. um,
Yeah, I can
uh,
see how you'd say like maybe you could enjoy it more than the last one because of the thing that happened at the end. I do know that they had a little bit of like stuff that really didn't work, like the some of the cringe humor that happened, and then like when they had what's her face, Wanda Sykes, like give a tour of that museum, and then doing the I mean, they can't help that the slap happened or whatever. So I'd
yeah,
probably still put that in like top two with the Super Bowl of this one.
yeah. I mean, it's one of those ones, but I think
I enjoyed
as a
it.
production performance, as like production was, I do think the Super like I didn't watch. I don't watch Super Bowl, but
Well, that makes
I'd
sense.
I'd have to go to a pub to watch it anyway. Because for some reason I do put it on over here in pubs. But
Mhm.
like normally I do watch it for this halftime show, but I didn't this time. But from what I've heard, the production of that halftime show is good. So but yeah. I'm going to touch on this just because it's a category which I do not know why it exists at this point in time, just because it's only a two-horse race, and that's Outstanding Variety Sketch Series, which is Saturday Night Live and Black Lady Sketch Show. That is it.
Oh,
Um, look, as much as I love Saturday Night Live, and I think it's going to, and I'm pretty sure it's going to win like it always does. I don't understand why they keep doing this category because it's no point have a category when you've got a 50 for 50 chance of winning. I don't know if it's because I don't know if any other variety sketch shows have come out. I don't know if Who's On Is It Anyways exists for this category. I don't. But Chad, what are your thoughts on Outstanding Variety Sketch Series?
I mean, I'm basically on the same lines as you. I mean, if there were a lot more to like rival it, like if they had like, Second City airing and, if Mad TV was still around, maybe this could be like a bigger, like, actual race. But, I feel like most people will probably just pick SNL. I still would just because I haven't seen, you said the Black Lady variety show or whatever it's called. I haven't seen that one, unfortunately. I would check it out, but I just haven't gotten around to it. So I just scrapped the category. I agree.
Yeah. But I'm going to move on up. I'm going to touch on some of these categories for reality TV series. I don't know if you've seen a lot of these, but I'm going to go to host for reality TV series. And so the nomination is all the guys from the Queer Eye. I think this is the Netflix version of Queer Eye. Nicole Byer from Nailed It. The Shark Tank guys. Padma Lakshmi from Top Chef. Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman had no idea they had a reality series called Making It.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
And RuPaul, who's ever since RuPaul's Drag Race came out, has been a regular fixture there. Any thoughts on the host for reality or competition series?
By hearing all of those, the only one I really get excited, like super excited for every time it comes on and watch it kind of almost religiously is Queer Eye. That's like one of my favorite like shows, and it happens to be like a big reality show. I think it's just like super nuanced. Never saw the original, but this one came out and it's like, it's just 5 really great people going around like changing lives, and it's just really captivating TV for me. I always find that the way they produce it and just do all the little things and have all these like transition sequences that are really fun, and all of the personalities are super fun, especially because this is an award for the personalities themselves. They're all like very distinct and just fun, a group of guys that are super entertaining, have a lot of great, and they're not afraid to get like deep either. Like they'll go and they'll have like deep conversations with a lot of the people they're trying to help and things like that. With the other, so that would be my definite award, no questions asked there. But with the other ones, I heard of the Making It one. I would love to probably watch Nick Offerman build furniture with Amy Poehler or whatever the heck they do. I've never got into Drag Race. I know friends who really, really love that show. I just never really got into it. And then I'm not really remembering the other ones, but Nailed It, and I think another cooking one maybe. I haven't watched those.
Shark
Tank, that's right. I think like Shark Tank's probably just a bunch of like rich, like, personalities and stuff that I'm probably not going to enjoy watching. Rich people say yes or no to people. Like, that's just not my style. Cool if you love it.
That is pretty much true. One of them is Mark Cuban. So, for me, like, I vaguely know most of these like hosts and shows. Nicole, I really enjoy watching Nailed It. I think it's a really good show. It's one of those cooking shows where you get a lot of fun out of watching it because of Nicole Byer's personality when she's hosting. Because basically the premise of Nailed It is these pro bakers have to try and recreate this a cake that's really not easy to make because ones that I've seen is they had to recreate a cake all based around all the works of Dr. Seuss. But with that, we're going to move up to start getting into some of these more meatier categories. Start with limited, working our way up. Outstanding writing for a limited or anthology series or movie. We've got Dope Sick, Impeachment, American Crime Story, Made, The White Lotus, The Dropout, and Station 11. I've really meant to watch Dope Sick for the longest time. I'll probably get around to it eventually. It's on Disney Plus for me. But the writing on Impeachment, I think, is really good. It's one of those shows that I didn't know I would enjoy it as much as I did. Is basically impeachment is about the whole Bill Clinton Monica Lewinsky scandal.
Okay.
And Beanie Feldstein plays Monica Lewinsky.
Love her. She's great.
Oh, she really is good in this.
Yeah.
We'll get more into that when we move up there. But I think impeachment is really good. And it's just one of those shows like the American Crime Stories. I think they do a really good job of telling the story about these famous trials and stuff. Because the first one they did was People vs. O.J. Simpson. They did Versace. I think that's all they've done. I think there's plans of doing Studio 66 at some stage, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to plan one to do about Deep v. Heard.
Oh, yeah.
But Chad, any thoughts on the writing for limited series?
Yeah, this one's interesting because I don't think I've seen any of those personally yet. I really want to. Like you said, the crime one, I saw the first season. I remember the writing being pretty solid and entertaining, but I remember that one specifically. I preferred like the, I don't know, 6-8 hour whatever documentary it was of OJ over the actual, like, crime, like fictionalized crime, whatever it's called, and stuff. So I'm not sure if I would give it to that, like not having seen any of these. Dope Sick, I've heard a lot of great things about. Station 11, my friend was trying to tell me to watch because it has like really good like source material, and then they were saying it was adapted really well. What were the other like two that I didn't say?
I will go back forward. There was The White Lotus.
Okay.
The Dropout, Made, Dope Sick. Not sure which two you've.
Yeah, the only other one that I've heard a lot of great things about is White Lotus. I haven't been super interested to check that one out. I think if I were to check any of these out, it would be Dope Sick and Station 11. But I probably, because my friend told me about Station 11, would give it to that. If like I was voting but haven't seen any of these, which is also a very terrible thing to do, but it is what it is.
But yeah, Chris is saying in the chat that Dope Six is a great but tough show to watch, and he thinks Under the Banner of Heaven should have got a writing nomination over Impeachment. Yeah, I had to quickly look that up because just to make sure Under the Banner of Heaven was in the eligibility period. Because I didn't bring this up at the start. The eligibility period of
Garfield one.
Yeah. The eligibility period of Emmys is weird because it starts from June the 1st and ends on May 31st of the year. So there's definitely a lot of ones that people have been arguing for should have been here, but because I know The Boys is a big one, but that started literally days after the eligibility thing. So it's going to be eligible for next year's Emmys.
That was the one that I was going to say is that for limited series, if this counts, I think it was in the window on Netflix. One of my favorite directors ever, Mike Flanagan, came out with Midnight Mass on Netflix, and that was excellent. Not saying it's better than any of these others that I haven't seen, but I thought that one was particularly excellent. It got no love with the.
I think Midnight Mass is under that banner in that period actually, because there was Midnight Mass is probably definitely in that.
It was only like 7 episodes, and they're not making sequels to it. So
I think it definitely would count for limited series. I
highly recommend people check that one out because if you're talking writing specifically, I think it's excellent. Like the characters, the story, just everything with it is just so fantastic.
But moving on, we're going to outstanding directing for limited or anthology series. It was a lot of the same things. We got Dope Sick, Made, Station 11, The White Lotus. But this time we've got no impeachment. We've got 2 episodes specifically from The Dropout here. So But specifically, it's the Dropout episode Green Juice and Iron Sisters, which were both nominated. They're different directors, by the way, but yeah. So Chad, what are your thoughts about the directing category?
Pretty much the same thing that I said before. Now that I remember about Midnight Mass and Limited, I'm going to say Midnight Mass should get it. I'm a right in Midnight Mass. Mike Flanagan directed every episode. And if you've seen any of his films or if you've seen like The Haunting of Hill House or anything like that, you know how this guy is. And, you know, he can direct the shit out of some stuff. And he directed every episode. So this is like his baby. I'd give it to that. If I had to stick within the category, did you say Station 11 was in there?
Station 11 is in there.
I'll give it to that.
Yeah. I've seen Dropout. I honestly couldn't get into Dropout. But maybe that's when you would understand if you knew much about that person that it's about. But that being said, I do think it's a well-directed series, so I wouldn't be surprised if one of those episodes gets in.
Yes.
It's the Amanda Seyfried one.
Yeah, it's about the what is that drug? The Elizabeth Holmes stuff. I can see that being really captivating, actually, kind of knowing about that story. But I do also see it not being for everyone. I actually do want to check that out, though. And Impeachment. I want to check all those out.
I mean, based on everyone who I've heard raving about Dope Sick, though, I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of sweeps that.
Probably, yeah. Or White Lotus. That's getting nominated everywhere.
Yeah. Now we're moving on to supporting actress for limited or anthology series or movie.
Okay.
We've got Connie Britton. So I'm going to dub this category the White Lotus and Dope Sick category because everyone is either Dope Sick or White Lotus,
which is really dumb. They really should spread the love to other stuff like Midnight Mass.
So nominated for White Lotus, we've got Connie Britton, Jennifer Coolidge, Alexander Daddario, Sydney Sweeney, Natasha Rothwell, and then nominated for Dope Sick, we've got Caitlin Dever and Mia Winningham. I've not seen either of these shows. I've heard of a lot of these actresses, though.
You said this is supporting?
Supporting, yeah. And this is one where I say that I think some of the people from Impeachment should have been nominated here, because some of those supporting cast, I'm not too sure which ones would be supporting off the top of my head realistically. But a lot of the acting in Impeachment was really good. But if I was to pick someone out of here, I probably would go Caitlin Dever, but yeah, Chad, what are your thoughts on supporting actress for this category?
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen like these shows in particular, but I will give my nominations or my wins for those, and then I'm going to shout out some other first. So I'm going to say for Midnight Mass, it should have been Samantha Sloyan as Bev Keane in Midnight Mass or Kate Siegel as Erin Green in Midnight Mass. But if I have to give it to something other dumb stuffs like that they nominated here, I would go Connie Britton or Caitlin Dever because I actually love both of those actors. Connie Britton is a Friday Night Lights actress, and it's one of my favorite shows ever. And Caitlin Dever is just fantastic, book smart. So yeah, and Short Term 12, things like that.
All right, moving on to supporting actor in a limited anthology series. If I actually go backwards, which once again is a very similar position as the actress, really, but there's more than two shows in this one. So we've got Murray Bartlett, Jake Lacey, and Will Poulter. Murray Bartlett, Jake Lacey, and Steve Zahn, all from The White Lotus. Will Poulter, Michael Stuhlbarg, and Peter Sarsgaard from Dope Sick, and Seth Rogen from Pam and Tommy. All nominated in this. But Chad, what are your thoughts about supporting actor?
Well, I know that Pam and Tommy would not be something that I would watch personally. The White Lotus, I said, probably isn't super my style either. But I'd be more inclined to check that one out. And what was the first, or what was the second show that was nominated with a bunch of actors?
Dope Sick.
Dope Sick, and I haven't seen that one. I don't know. I'd probably just give it to like Steve Zahn or something, just because I like him. I'd do that kind of thing. But if it was like somebody like I was nominating myself, like writing in, it would be probably Rahul Kohli from Midnight Mass or Hamish Linklater from Midnight Mass. It's all gonna be Midnight Mass for me.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that that I would say that I think White Lotus and Dope Sick could end up splitting the awards, opening the path for Seth Rogen to come out all the way from the middle.
Maybe.
Because Seth Rogen was great as a dick in Pam and Tommy. Because he was the guy that leaked the whole sex tape and all that. But Pam and Tommy is a great show, and I'm going to be raving about a few more when we go back. But
Gotcha.
I think this is one of those ones where having multiple people on the same show could hurt you in a way, especially if there's one person's
Yeah.
and it's so it's definitely one of those ones. Chris is saying that it's Malcolm Stolberg's Emmy to lose, but
He is great. So
yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean he is great, but as I said, like, it's one of those ones that I think and he also said that Julie Bowen should be nominated for The Fallout, but I don't know if that counts as a TV movie. Which we'll begin to because TV movie is a category there.
yeah, it
But
is. Yep.
But so I guess we'll find out if it counts really. But anyway, moving on to lead actress in a limited or anthology series or movie, we've got Toni Collette from The Staircase, Julia Garner for Inventing Anna, Lily James for Pam and Tommy, Amanda Seyfried from The Dropout, Margaret Qualley for Maid, and Sarah Paulson from Impeachment American Crime Story. Yeah. So it looks like Benny Felton may have counted for supporting actress, really. So I think she should have been nominated, but I don't know, but this, like, I haven't seen Staircase, but I've heard a lot about it because I was watching a thing the other day where they're talking about the actual case about this staircase.
Yeah.
And it sounds really interesting. But this is going to be one that I'm going to say that, like, it's tough because I think Sarah Paulson did good in American Crime Story, but Lily James literally disappeared into the role of Pamela Anderson. Like, well, yes, a lot of it is because of prosthetics and all that, but she was really good in the series, and I think she's the best actress out of this bunch. But Chad, what are your thoughts of a lead actress?
Lead actress in limited series. Yeah, I'd give it to Kate Siegel for Midnight Mass, but since I can't, then looking through these, I love. Well, I don't love Amanda Seyfried. I like her. Sarah Paulson sometimes gets on my nerves, but sometimes is also really great. Like in Run and American Horror Story for the most part. It seems like she's in all of these crime stories as well now. But let's see. Lily James, I do like. I really like her in Baby Driver, but I probably won't watch Pam and Tommy. And I've heard bad things about Inventing Anna, but Julia Garner's great. I'd give it to Toni Collette. Like, yeah, I love Toni Collette and everything I've seen her in. And The Staircase, if you listen to like every true crime podcast ever, they have an episode on The Staircase. It's a pretty famous true crime case, and they even had like a documentary a few years ago that they came out about it, about like the actual trials that happened. So it's kind of cool that they came out with the dramatized version starring Toni Collette, and I think that is probably really great. I've heard a lot of people kind of raving about it, so I would, if I had to vote, I'd for who, like, predict who would win, I'd probably say Toni Collette in The Staircase, and I would vote for her too out of all these. And I really want to check that one out.
Yeah, and Chris is saying in the chat that like he think once again I think Jenna Ortega was big stuff for the Fallout. As I said, the Fallout's one of those trickier ones because I believe it was factory release. I'm not too sure about if it was factory release in the States. I'm pretty sure I saw it in advertised for cinemas here, but we'll, as I said, when we get to TV movie, we'll find out. But it's also one of those ones. I don't know if the Emmys have a strict guideline for how many people get into each category. I think there's a lot of these people. Because if you look at these supporting actress ones, they're a lot bigger, more nominations, and then lead get 6. But I think it's one of those ones that I think it's tough for actresses from like TV movies to get into these acting awards because there's a lot of good series out there.
Yeah.
So, but moving on to lead actor.
Hell yeah.
So, and we've got Colin Firth from The Staircase, Andrew Garfield for Under the Banner of Heaven, Oscar Isaac from Scenes from a Marriage, Michael Keaton from Dopesick, Himesh Patel from Station 11, and Sebastian Stan from Pam and Tommy. Yeah, once again, I've heard a lot about Colin Firth's performances in The Staircase, that it's really good. I still haven't seen it because I've also heard a lot of good stuff about Andrew Garfield for Under the Banner of Heaven as well. Honestly, this is tough because Sebastian Stan, Pam and Tommy, Michael Keaton. Sebastian Stan is really good in Pam and Tommy, and then Michael Keaton, Colin Firth, and Andrew Garfield I've heard really good things about. So I think any one of those 4 could win. I don't know much about Station 11 and Scenes from a Marriage, but Chad, what are your thoughts about lead actor?
Again, I'd give it to Zach Gilford, Midnight Mass, also Friday Night Lights. But no, seriously, like this list that they've compiled here of actors is quality. Like you were talking about, like Colin Firth, Andrew Garfield, Oscar Isaac, Michael Keaton are all fantastic. I like Himesh Patel and I like Sebastian Stan. I wouldn't give it to either of those because I haven't seen those shows, and just knowing like the quality of acting from those 2, I don't know like what I would get from them, but for the other 4, I just think are great in everything that I've seen them in, pretty much. Maybe to a lesser extent, Colin Firth. I would go for this one, either Andrew Garfield or Oscar Isaac, but because of like how fire Andrew Garfield was last year and like everything he did and everything he's been doing prior to last year, even though I haven't seen any of these shows, I really need to get around to it. I would give it to Andrew Garfield because I just think that dude just does not fail. He like, really commits to every role that he does. Like in crap, what was the movie where he played Jonathan Larson? Dude. How am I forgetting the name of that movie? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Professor Marston in the Wonder Woman, is that the one?
No. It's Tick Tick Boom. That's what I was thinking about. Blanking on the name.
Yeah. But yeah, in the chat, Chris Dares is saying that it's between Garfield and Keaton for him, but he does think Oscar goes outside for Moonlight. When it comes to these Marvel shows, I think it got a really tricky when it comes because I do not know where Disney campaigned for them anymore because I think Moon Knight was being campaigned for limited series, and I think it was campaigned for drama series, and I think because of that, it got confused, and I think that's why. Because it's the same for Loki, because I think Loki is one of those shows that I think was campaigned for limited series, but then they got a season 2, so like Emmy was like, nope, it's going into.
That's true too. Good point.
So I think because of that, because of those things, I think it's one of those ones. I think that is the reason why they still got missed out this time. Although that being said, I really hope Ms. Marvel gets nominated next year because I think that was really good.
Yeah, it was all right.
Oh, I mean,
I thought it was fine. No, just kidding.
I think all the Disney Plus shows was being campaigned there. I mean, once again, I think because these Disney Plus shows are not sure about if they're getting a second series, is all over the place. But that being said, we're going to move over to Outstanding Television Movie. And in a big surprise, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is nominated.
Hell yeah, dude.
But also nominated is Ray Donovan the movie, Reno 911 The Hunt for QAnon, The Survivor, and Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas. And this is one that's tough because Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist is one of those series that I think is very underseen, and so I'm glad to see that the Christmas movie they did is gotten here. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is a big surprise to see here as well because it's one of those ones because I had no idea that it was going to, how these rules work, but the fact that it counts as a TV movie, even though it's a streaming movie, it's one of those difficult things, but good to see it counts, and I'm glad to see it got a nomination because it is really good. But Chad, what are your thoughts on Outstanding Television Movie?
I've never seen the show Ray Donovan, so I probably would not enjoy Ray Donovan in the movie, although I enjoyed the Bob's Burgers movie, but I think it might be kind of a different kind of thing. So, I used to love the television show Reno 911. I saw like their first movie in theaters. I didn't know that this existed, though. I heard like it was kind of coming back, but I haven't really been paying attention to it. I probably would check it out at some point, but I haven't seen it. Survivor, I don't know what that is. I know Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, I think, is a show, and this is the movie based on it. Haven't seen the show, haven't seen the movie. I have seen Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I thought it was amazing because it was just so funny and meta, and I just loved like all of the humor. I loved Andy Samberg and John Mulaney as the main actors. Freaking Tim Robinson's one of my favorite comedians today, and he was Ugly Sonic. And there's just so many great bits and stuff in the movie that, and the way they did the animation's incredible. I would give it to Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers all the way.
Yeah, I'm probably leaning to either Chip and Dale or Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas for me. But I'm probably going to lean towards Rescue Rangers thing. But yeah, it's one of those ones that once again, Chris is talking about the Fallout. The Fallout is one of those ones that is tricky because
right.
I think the reason it didn't get nominated in here because it had I just quickly looked it up. It had its first premiere at South by Southwest, so maybe they thought, oh yeah, it was going to be a theatrical movie. I think maybe that's the thing. Maybe there's some thing there, which is why it didn't get nominated.
Yeah, that makes sense. Actually,
I mean, the Fallout is really good. I'm not saying
I need to see it.
There's probably a reason it didn't get any love, but anyway, moving over to Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series. But nominated we've got Dope Sick, Inventing Anna, Pam and Tommy, The Dropout and The White Lotus. Given the amount of love Dopesick and White Lotus have gotten, I'm not surprised to see them here.
Yeah.
I am surprised that Impeachment American Consul isn't here, though, because I think that is a really good show. But this is one of those ones I think Dopesick or White Lotus is going to pull this off. But I would love to see Pam and Tommy win. So I'm probably going to just say Pam and Tommy to win, but and be wrong on that. Chad, what are your thoughts on Limited Anthology series?
From what I've heard, I think that Dopesick will probably win it. I do think a second, like, sneak in victory might go to the White Lotus, but I think Dopesick will probably win that one for prediction. But as I've said before, Midnight Mass would be my pick if I were to be able to write something in. And I think it's just so sad that they, I mean, this right here is like, at least it's one per thing, but the categories where it's like, I'm gonna do like 5 White Lotus. It's like, why can't you just spread the love? It just annoys me. But anyways, I don't make the rules.
Yeah, and I know the Emmys have a rule at the but they did, but I think they're getting rid of it for next year. That if a series was ongoing and was ending after the eligibility period finishes, I think there's some red hanging rule there that said unless they provide the episodes for the Emmy committee to watch, it's not going to be eligible for it that year. It's going to be the next year. But moving on to outstanding writing for a drama series.
Okay.
We've got Better Call Saul, Ozark, Severance, Yellow Jackets, Succession, Squid Game, and another episode of there's 2 episodes of Yellow Jackets here. F Sharp and the pilot episode.
Pilot, yeah.
But Chad, what are your thoughts about the nominations for the writing for drama series?
I'm not exactly the best at remembering every single episode title and like what happens in the episode specifically. So I'm gonna go mostly over like the shows, and the only ones that I've actually seen at least some of are Succession, Severance, Ozark, and Better Call Saul. I haven't been caught up with the new Ozark, so I won't vote on that. I only watched a little bit of Succession, and I didn't like finish even like season 1. At some point I plan to go back to it. I thought Severance was pretty brilliant of a show, especially like towards the end. I just thought that was like incredible. But yeah, no, my love for Vince Gilligan, all things Vince Gilligan, Better Call Saul, and Breaking Bad, and all that. There's no way I'm not voting Better Call Saul on this. Will it win? I don't know. I know there's a lot of love for some of these other shows, especially like Yellow Jacket, Succession, really all of them, really. Maybe Ozark I would put at the bottom. I don't know if that's going to win. But Better Call Saul, I hope wins. If it doesn't, then my second would be Severance, because I thought that was brilliant. Although I really do want to check out Yellow Jackets.
Yeah. It was Better Call Saul's final season, wasn't it? Or was that next season?
No, it's okay. So it's Better Call Saul's final season is airing this year. They started for this Emmy season. They did half or almost half of the show earlier in the year, and then now currently, in fact, tonight they're airing another episode. Like there's 5 more to go, and then they're going to be eligible for next Emmy season too. But it is the last season, yeah.
Yeah, so just based on it's definitely going to be one of those tricky things, because sometimes the new series tend to do really well at the Emmys, but also if it's a series final season, as we saw,
yeah,
I think it was last year with Schitt's Creek, that did really well. So
great show,
but because Better Call Saul's in 2 parts, I'm inclined to say that I think I've heard a lot about Yellow Jackets. I think that could come.
Cool.
That could. I've watched. Probably. I think I have watched the pilot episode. I'm honestly I'm not that really into it. I think it's fine. But that's just me really. And I've heard a lot about that. The Severance is really good.
Oh yeah,
So
easy watch too.
but because both of those are the newer shows, I think one of them could take it out. Squid Game could even take it out too, because maybe not for writing. But who knows? Who really knows? Over to directing for a drama series. We've got Ozark, Severance, Squid Game, and Yellow Jackets. They've all got one episode. Then we've got 3 episodes of Succession. Too Much Birthday, which is a lie. You can never have too much birthday. The Disruption, and All the Bells Say, which are all episode titles of Succession that are nominated. I'm probably just going to say Yellow Jackets here and move it over to Chad because I don't really know much else.
Yeah, I think the writing in Succession and Yellow Jackets, and even Ozark to like a little bit of a lesser extent. Well, actually, I haven't seen Yellow Jacket, but Succession and Ozark, the writing is pretty good. I haven't seen Squid Game or Yellow Jackets. I want to check both of those out, but I would give it to Severance hands down, just because the way they crafted that entire season. And I'm sure this episode, I don't know specifically which one that is, but if it's the final episode, that one was excellent. So yeah, I would say Severance for sure. Check that out. It's great.
But we're going to move over to guest actress in a drama series. Hope Davis for Succession, Marsha Gay Harden for The Morning Show, Martha Kelly for Euphoria, Sanaa Lathan for Succession, Harriet Walker for Succession, and Lee Yu-mi for Squid Game.
Ooh.
I mean,
drama. Okay.
Yeah.
Drama, guest actors. Yeah, I'm there.
But Chad, what are your thoughts on these guest actresses?
I don't know. I don't really know any of these performances specifically. I might have to just kind of sit this one out. If I had to choose, I'd probably choose out of these, like Succession. I think it's the best show out of all of these. But there's 3. I don't even know who to pick. So, yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat here. Like, I've seen the first episode of Euphoria, haven't got up to whatever season the Martha Kelly's from, but but yeah, I'll probably lean towards one of the Succession people. Or once again, they could split the vote, and one of the other 3 could get in easily. Moving on to guest actor in a drama series. Adrian Brody for Succession, James Cromwell for Succession, Coleman Domingo for Euphoria, Arian Moriad from Succession, Tom Pelphrey from Ozark, Alexander Skarsgård from Succession. Any thoughts on any of these?
Yeah. Excuse me. Wait, Tom Pelphrey. I'm up real quick. Actually, he was actually pretty great in Ozark. That one I've actually seen. So I might give it to him. I didn't know he was in like this season though. But also Alexander Skarsgård's catching my eyes, because just every time I've seen him in like a show, like Big Little Lies, and he made an appearance in Atlanta. He's really great. So I would see maybe him or Tom Pelphrey, personal choices. I don't know who's a front runner or what. So those would be like tied probably for my 2 choices.
Yeah, I mean, like Tom Pelphrey probably came back for this final season of Ozark, which would explain why he's in the guest. Moving on to, yeah, I mean, I don't know much about that. I haven't seen Succession. I really should. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. Moving on to supporting actress for a drama series. Patricia Arquette for Severance, Julia Garner for Ozark, Jung Ho Yon for Squid Game. I probably butchered that name. J. Smith Cameron for Succession. Rhea Seehorn for Better Call Saul. Christina Ricci for Yellow Jackets. Sarah Snook for Succession. And Sydney Sweeney for Euphoria. I mean, I know Sydney Sweeney from the one episode of Euphoria I've seen. She's really good in it. And I think Christina Ricci is pretty fun in Yellow Jackets. But from what I've heard, apparently this has been a long time nomination for Rhea Seehorn from Better Call Saul. So I think there's a good chance she might pull it out. If not, maybe next year. But Chad, what are your thoughts on the supporting actress?
I think you may, if you've gotten context clues throughout this thing, know what I'm going to say here. It's hands down Rhea Seehorn. Over all of Better Call Saul, because when they started Better Call Saul, you didn't know what this was going to be. If it was going to be, weird and just not up to Breaking Bad. And some people love Better Call Saul even more than Breaking Bad, which I don't, but it's up there for sure. And I think one of the best things about Better Call Saul is not only Bob Odenkirk, but Rhea Seehorn. She really makes that show. In fact, she could probably be campaign for lead actress, but I'm really glad she is in the category for supporting actress, just for the fact that I don't want her to have to go up against Zendaya or something like that. That probably would make it a lot harder for her to win. Even though I think she's probably the best woman actress, best actress on TV right now. Personally, I definitely would give it to Rhea Seehorn. Although I love Patricia Arquette in Severance as well, and every single time I keep hearing people in Yellow Jackets, it makes me want to watch that show. So I want to check out Christina Ricci in that show as well. But yeah, Rhea Seehorn, hands
down. But you're moving on to supporting actor from a drama series. Nicholas Bourne for Succession, Billy Crudup for The Morning Show, Kieran Culkin for Succession, Park Hae-soo for Squid Game, Matthew McFadden for Succession, John Turturro for Severance, Christopher Walken for Severance, Oh Young-soo for Squid Game. This is one where Billy Crudup could just come through the middle, was like, because everyone else split votes. But I mean, if I was a betting man, I'd say maybe either Severance or Succession one of them would get it. But yeah, I'm probably just going to go Billy Crudup because I know that name. Chad, what are your thoughts on the supporting actor?
That's some nice math you did there. I'm going to go with the ones that I have seen, though, because I do think Kieran Culkin is really great in Succession. He's just a really great actor. He was great in Fargo and Scott Pilgrim and stuff like that. So I really like to see the different take that he has on Succession. It shows his range. But I really kind of fell in love with Severance this year. And it's John Turturro and Christopher Walken are both fantastic in it, but I would easily give it to John Turturro. I think he shows like a lot of emotional depth in that, and he kind of makes that show. So John Turturro easily.
Moving on to lead actress, which once again I don't understand why supporting actress is more than lead actress, but maybe it's because there's a lot of supporting people. We've got Jodie Comer for Killing Eve, Laura Linney for Ozark, Melanie Linsky for Yellow Jackets, Zendaya for Euphoria, Reese Witherspoon, The Morning Show, and Sandra Oh for Killing Eve. Look, Zendaya is a great actress, and she's definitely really good in Euphoria. I would love to see her win, but the one person I'd love to see win more than her is because she's a Kiwi actress and she's great in Yellow Jackets, is Melanie Linsky. I would like to see her win. I've got a feeling one of the Killing Eve people will end up winning, but I really want to be proved wrong here. But Chad, what are your thoughts for lead actress?
Lead actress is kind of a thing where even though I believe she's won before Zendaya, a lot of people are really really on that train. I am really not. I like her in the Spider-Man movies. I don't care for that show that she's in. So I would not at all give it to her. But I'm only like that because I feel like she's kind of a front runner in this race. But going off of the other things, love Reese. Haven't seen the morning show. Sandra Oh is great in Killing Eve. I think Jodie Comer is fantastic in Killing Eve, although I haven't seen the recent seasons. Laura Linney's great in Ozark. I feel like she's won a lot too. But I think I'm going to side with you here, Malcolm, because even though I haven't seen Yellow Jackets, Melanie Linsky is great in like everything I've seen her in pretty much. So yeah, I'd give it to Melanie Linsky in Yellow Jackets.
But yeah, Brian says in his that he is surprised Mandy Moore didn't get in.
Yes, definitely. Agree.
But once again,
Fantastic.
I don't know when this Us ended. Whether it was in June or before.
Like it was in May or June.
Before
July, so yeah, I think it hit the cutoff.
Because if it was in June, it could be a subject to that that hanging rule where if they were ending after that eligibility, they won't be eligible for until next year. Look, Emmy nomination eligibility criteria is weirder than the Oscars.
It ended in May, so yeah, I think it was eligible. They just
okay, so it would have been eligible for this one. But by the looks of it, it didn't get any love because going into lead actor, we've got Jason Bateman for Ozark, Brian Cox for Succession, Lee Jung-jae for Squid Game, that got a lot of love, Jeremy Strong from Succession, Adam Scott from Severance, and Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul. Chad, I'll go to you because I know what you're going to say probably.
You definitely know what I'm going to say, and I am going to say that. I do like Jason Bateman in Ozark a lot. I think he's really great in that show. I haven't seen the latest season, like I've said. And Adam Scott is like, he's like coming from behind, like so great in like everything he does, comedy, drama, whatever. But you know who also does great with comedy and drama? Bob Odenkirk. And he is, I don't know, he's just something else in Better Call Saul. He like makes that character, makes that show. It's a Bob and Rhea show with Better Call Saul, and they just cannot be stopped in my mind. I wish more people were on board with it. I really hope that, at least next year they both win, if not this year and next year, because I really think that they do some really phenomenal things in that show. So yeah, Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with Brian here. I think Jabari Banks was great as in Bel Air.
Haven't seen that
one. It's also one of those ones that I know was really polarized. I know some people really didn't like the Bel Air just because they're big fans of the original series.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one that there's I know that quite often with the Emmys, they do, if it's a show's final season, as I said earlier, then they will tend to favor that series a lot.
Let's hope.
No, well, the reason I was going to say that is because Better Call Saul has been split, and there's going to be some series this year for next year's Emmys. I think Jason Bateman could win this just because Ozark is finished.
That's true. That's a good point.
But once again,
I hope not, though.
But once again, if it's a brand new show, then that could come out of nowhere and pull out Simmons too. True. So Squid Game or Severance might win too. It's really hard to predict which way the Emmys are going to go when it comes to that. But moving on to Outstanding Drama Series, we've got Better Call Saul, Euphoria, Ozark, Severance, Squid Game, Stranger Things, Succession, and Yellow Jackets. I mean, this is one of those ones that I think it's probably going to go to Better Call Saul, personally, but once again, I think any of these shows could win, because I've heard a lot of good things about Stranger Things season 4. I know there's been a lot of talk that the Strange Things actors were all snubbed. So I know there's a lot of people saying that Sadie Sink should have been nominated for Stranger Things.
Yes.
But it's also one of the, but once again, it's also one of those tricky things because technically the last part of season 4 ended on the other side of the Emmy eligibility.
Right.
So we could see some Strange Thing actors get nominated next year. But what are your thoughts about drama series?
Oh man, this one's kind of stacked. So I've seen all of them except for, well, not every single season of Ozark or Succession, but I've seen those two shows. They're both good, really good shows. I need to see Yellow Jackets. I don't have any plans to watch Euphoria. But I also do want to watch Squid Game if I didn't say that already. But Stranger Things, Severance, and Better Call Saul, I've seen all of them. Stranger Things is really great this season. Severance was just phenomenal. But Better Call Saul is one of the greatest shows ever made. Better Call Saul.
Yeah, and Brian in the chat says that this is should have been nominated since the series is over.
Agree.
I mean, it's one of those ones. I don't think a show should be nominated just because it's had its final season. I think it just goes to show like how many great drama series there actually is. Because I mean, because realistically, you can't have every season you like get nominated. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones that. But moving on, got one more section, and that's comedy. So, outstanding writing for a comedy series. Abbott Elementary. We've got 2 episodes of Barry, which is 7:10 in, and starting now. Ted Lasso, Only Murders in the Building, Hacks, What We Do in the Shadows. 2 episodes from that as well. The Casino and the Wellness Center. Look, when it comes to writing, I think the series of What We Do in the Shadows is really good writing. I think it really does a good job of sort of capturing the spirit of the movie and kind of doing its own thing all the same. But that being said, Only Murders in the Building is a big surprise for me. It's one of those series which I looked at as like, this could be so corny and stupid. I'm not going to enjoy, but I really do enjoy it. I really hope it wins here. I haven't seen like Abbott Elementary and Barry. I've seen Hacks, but I don't care for it. I really don't. And I think Ted Lasso is great, but I think if a show wins here, I would love for it to be the new show, Only Murders in the Building. Chad, what are your thoughts on outstanding writing for a comedy series?
Yeah, the 2 I haven't seen. I guess I watch more comedies than dramas, but the 2 I haven't seen are Abbott Elementary and Only Murders in the Building. I've heard great things about both. But I haven't seen them. I do love What We Do in the Shadows. I really like Hacks. I started watching that, but I haven't like seen every episode. I don't know which one this is. But then I adore Barry. That's my favorite show of the slate here. And so I would choose a Barry episode. Although, and also Ted Lasso, I have seen and I love Ted Lasso as well. I adore that show as well. And I think the No Weddings and a Funeral episode was fantastic. But I'll still probably go Barry just because I think the writing in that show is just so sharp. I'd probably go the 7:10 in one because that's the one with like the I won't give anything away, but there's like a scooter chase scene, and it's pretty great. So yeah.
Well, talking about scooter chase scenes, because moving on to outstanding directing, is we've got Atlanta, Barry, which is 710N, which was nominated for directing, Hacks, Ted Lasso. We've got 2 episodes from Only Murders in the Building, The Boy from 6B, and True Crime, were both nominated for Only Murders in the Building, and a show I've never even heard of before, the Ms. Pat Show. I have no idea what that is. But for me, look, while Barry may be great with Scourge Chasers, I've not seen Barry. Eventually I'll probably get around to watching it. But The Boy from 6B is a really unique episode for Only Murders in the Building, because a good portion of that is from the perspective of a deaf person who
Oh, cool.
and it's mostly in subtitled. Like it's mostly cyanogic and subtitles. There's barely any dialogue in that episode, and I think like with that one, I think to be able to do it convincingly, and you need a really good director. I think especially to do an episode which is basically devoid of any noise at all, and it's not easy to do. So I'm going to give it to that just for that reason. But Chad, what are your thoughts on directing for a comedy?
Well, I mean, I think that's excellent reasoning. I love when shows do stuff like that where they devote a episode and there's like a specific style that they use that's just kind of different. It really just keeps the show kind of like engaging, and then you're just like, oh, I heard that episode's really special. Like they do something really cool in that and just different. So that sounds excellent. I kind of want to check that show out a lot. And like I said, I love that Ted Lasso episode, No Weddings and a Funeral. I did find it kind of funny that the Miss Pat Show episode's called Baby Daddy Groundhog Day. Thought that was pretty funny. Hacks is excellent. Atlanta, I love the direction in that a lot. The season had a lot of Atlanta had a lot of kind of one like kind of like what is that one show, Black Mirror, kind of like where it was like just like a different story each time kind of a deal, which was really cool. I don't remember exactly which one this one was. I think it might have been, yeah, anyways, it was really great. But yeah, I'm definitely still gonna go with Barry 710N, just because like this is one I've actually with the scooter chase scene that I've talked about, like just the way they direct some of the sequences in the show. I was looking up how they actually did it, and just the level of commitment and detail that they had with like all their stunt people and stuff like that. I just thought it was like excellently crafted. So Barry 710N for me for that one.
Yeah. Moving on to guest actress from a comedy series. From Hacks, we've got Jane Addams, Harriet Sansom Harris, Caitlin Olsen, and Laurie Metcalf. And we've also got Jane Lynch from Only Murders in the Building, and Harriet Walter for Ted Lasso. So I don't know if I haven't got it up to the second season of Hacks myself, so I probably haven't seen any of these people. I don't know if this is for the second season or first season. I think it's second season. But I think Jane Lynch was great in Only Murders in the Building. I'm probably going to lean to that, but just because I don't remember Harriet Walter from Ted Lasso. And yeah, Chad, what are your thoughts on guest actress from a comedy?
Oh, I'm wondering if Harriet Walter plays Rebecca's mom in the show. Because I thought for a second it might have been, but that could have been supporting, was the therapist. But anyways, that was a good performance. I don't remember Caitlin Olsen in Hacks. Or I've never seen Only Murders in the Building. Actually, the only one that from Hacks that I would kind of gravitate to is Laurie Metcalf, because I think she's fantastic. So I probably would give it to her, even though I haven't gotten to the point where she comes in to the show.
So I'm just quickly looking up. Yeah, so Harriet Walter is Rebecca's mum.
Yeah. She's good in the show, yeah, for sure.
But moving on to guest actor in a comedy series, we've got Jared Carmichael for Saturday Night Live, Bill Hader for Curb Your Enthusiasm, James Lance for Ted Lasso, Sam Richardson for Ted Lasso, Christopher McDonald for Hacks, and Nathan Lane for Only Murders in the Building. Look, I mean, Ted Lasso is great, and I'm sure I'm halfway through the second season. I really should get around to finishing it. But that being said, Nathan Lane is great in Only Murders in the Building, and I think he's a really good. I don't remember Bill Hader from Curb Your Enthusiasm that well. I vaguely remember he was in it, but that's about it. So I'm going to go Nathan Lane here. But Chad, what are your thoughts for guest actor?
Well, I love Nathan Lane. I just still haven't seen that show, and I don't remember the performances from Ted Lasso. There's two of them, and I don't remember. Is Christopher McDonald? No, he's not. Hold on.
I think it is
Shooter McGavin, is he?
Guy from the Happy Gilmore movie.
Yes, Shooter McGavin. That's right. Yeah, he's good in that, for sure. And I don't know about the Jared Carmichael. He might be like kind of like a side player in SNL. I would go Bill Hader and Curb, personally, just because when you were reading out those names and I saw him on the list, I just started cracking up because in the one episode he's in Curb, he plays like 3 or 4 different roles, and it's Larry David going to like different establishments, and it's Bill Hader.
Right.
Yes.
That's right.
And he's got like a different accent and just like, hey, I know that guy. Hey, why don't you go over here? And he's amazing in it. And he's just so silly. I love Bill Hader.
But moving on to supporting actress, Alex Borstein from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Hannah Einbinder for Hacks, Janelle James for Abbott Elementary, Cheryl Lee Well for Abbott Elementary, Sarah Niles for Ted Lasso, Kate McKinnon for Saturday Night Live, Juno Temple for Ted Lasso, and Hannah Waddingham for Ted Lasso. Chad, what are your thoughts on supporting actress?
This one is actually tough for me. I think Juno Temple and Hannah Waddingham are really fantastic in Ted Lasso, but like the one big reason why I was actually getting into the show Hacks is because of Hannah Einbinder. I think she's like the writer. Yeah, I would probably give it to her just because like I just thought she was the one that really hooked me into the show, whereas I think Ted Lasso is a really good like ensemble more so.
Yeah,
Kate McKinnon's great though.
Yeah, so I because I think last time Hannah Waddingham won Ted Lasso for Ted Lasso last year.
Sounds right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if she wins again, or if it goes to the other Hannah.
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, 2 Hannahs.
But that being said, I believe last season was Kate McKinnon's last on Saturday Night Live as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if because of that reasoning alone, I'm not a big fan of her as an actress. Like I watch stuff she's in, and I think she's funny, but I don't know. For some reason, she just doesn't do it for me a lot. But
she probably works better in a SNL type format, but she's hilarious.
Yeah. But because I know it was her last season, I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up taking it out because of that. But moving on to supporting actor, we've got Anthony Harrigan from Barry. We've got Brett Goldstein from Ted Lasso. I almost spoiled something, but I'm not going to. Tahib Jamil from Ted Lasso. Tyler James Williams from Abbott Elementary, Tony Shalhoub from the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Nick Mohammed from Ted Lasso, Henry Winkler for Barry, and Bowen Yang for Saturday Night Live. Look, Roy Kent is great, and I'm probably going to lean towards maybe Brett Goldstein winning here. But Chad, what are your thoughts on supporting actor?
I do agree. Brett Goldstein is great. I know exactly what you were planning to spoil, but I guess it's good that you didn't. But personally, Barry's been hooking me more than Ted Lasso. If you compare like the later seasons, Barry's been hooking me like probably more than most shows, except for probably Better Call Saul, Midnight Mass. Yeah, Barry's fantastic, and Henry Winkler and Anthony Carrigan, I think, are both so damn good. But I would probably give it to Anthony Carrigan because he plays in the show. If you ever check it out, Malcolm, it's he plays NoHo Hank, and so he's like a kind of like a Russian, or is it? No, he's not Chechen. Chechens are his enemies. He's like a Russian mobster guy, but he's so funny and he's so weird and silly. But in this season, something is revealed about him, and he gets like really like dramatic, and so he shows like range. And I think that shows just a new level to his character and his acting. And so I think he's fantastic in the show. So I'd give it to Anthony Carrigan Barry.
Yeah. I mean, the problem for a lot of those categories that I've pointed out a few times is when you've got a lot of people from one TV show nominated, because you've got I think there's about 3 Ted Lassos and 2 Barrys, they could end up splitting a vote, and one of the people that was only nominated for one
Tony
show.
Shalhoub's great, anyways.
Oh, yeah. But it's one of those ones like anything, it's like, because if it's a brand new show or if it's a show on its way out, chances are there's a good chance you could sneak out. So Abbott Elementary could come out of nowhere and win a lot of these awards easily.
I want to check that out. I heard good things.
Oh, I've heard a lot of good things too. But moving on to lead actress, Rachel Brosnahan from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Quinta Brunson from Abbott Elementary, Kaylee Cuoco from The Flight Attendant, Elle Fanning from The Guest, Elle Fanning from The Great, Issa Rae from Insecure, and Jean Smart from Hacks. So if my memory serves me right, I think Jean Smart won last year for Hacks. So I'm going to go to her that she might win again. But that being said, I've heard a lot of good things about The Flight Attendant. So I think Kaylee Cuoco probably deserves it. But Chad, what are your thoughts on lead actress?
Well, I know a lot of people love Rachel Brosnahan in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I need to check that show out. I tried to start it and I just never got through it. And Elle Fanning, I actually really love in a lot of other things, but I haven't seen that show. Heard great things about Issa Rae and Insecure as well. I do really like Jean Smart and Hacks. I think she's fantastic. And also Kaylee Cuoco is really great in The Flight Attendant. So I'd give it to one of them. I'd probably lean maybe Jean Smart because I think she's just really great. But I wouldn't be mad if either of them win. But really, any of these people are probably deserving. I don't know.
Yeah. One big snub that I was actually going to mention here is Selena Gomez.
Yes,
for Only Murders in the Building. Because I think she is really good in that show.
I've heard that, yeah.
And the fact she didn't get nominated is crazy to me. But moving on to lead actor, which is what prompted me to say that, really, because nominated lead actor is Donald Glover from Atlanta, Bill Hader from Barry, Nicholas Hoult from The Great, Steve Martin and Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building, and Jason Sudeikis from Ted Lasso. So I think Jason Sudeikis is a big favorite here because I think he's really good in Ted Lasso. But I really want to see either Steve Martin or Martin Short or Short Martin win this. But win this just because I think they're both. I mean, they're both great actors regardless. But I think out of the two, I'd much rather see Steve Martin win this. Just because he is really good. And while I've always known he was funny, Only Murders in the Building sort of proved that he still has the comedic chops that he. But Chad, what are your thoughts for lead actor?
Yeah, Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Short Martin are all legends. But I still haven't seen that show. So I'm gonna go with like stuff that I have seen. Nicholas Holt's fantastic in everything he does. Donald Glover, I love in Atlanta. I think as Ern, he's really fantastic. Jason Sudeikis also, especially season 1 of Ted Lasso, he just showed so many like layers, and I just was blown away by him. In season 2, maybe a little bit less focused on a lot of other people in season 2, but Barry this season of Barry he just like kind of had like this big character turn, and I think just his acting is incredible in this. It's like you think of Bill Hader as the comedy guy, like, in Curb or SNL or, any of his comedy movies. But like in Barry, he's just on a whole other plane here for me. So I would give it to Bill Hader. But I do plan to check out Only Murders in the Building.
The one thing that I will say that could be really interesting here is I think if Barry wins for guest actor, I think he doesn't win here for lead or vice versa. Because it might be one that when they're voting, they might see his name twice as like, ooh.
Yeah, maybe.
I think someone else should win this one.
I would give it to him for lead actor over the guest, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. No. And honestly, I think if anything, that's the way most people may go.
Good.
But looking at the outstanding comedy series, a couple of names I'm going to throw out there that I'm surprised. I'm surprised Larry David didn't get in for Curb Your Enthusiasm, and also I'm actually surprised none of the What We Do in the Shadows actually got known. Any for acting.
So
I didn't think about it until we got to here. I was like, I did not see like any of those names, but for outstanding comedy series, we got Abbott Elementary, Barry, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Ted Lasso, Only Murders in the Buildings, Hacks, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, or What We Do in the Shadows. Chad, what are your thoughts for outstanding comedy series?
Yeah, this one's interesting. Okay, so yeah, I haven't seen Abbott, haven't seen Marvelous, haven't seen Only Murders, but the other ones I have seen, I love What We Do in the Shadows, love Ted Lasso, I really enjoy Hacks, love Curb, and love Barry. So for me, it would be between Curb and Barry, but I just think like Barry with the writing with Barry, it's just such a great dark comedy out of all of these. It's a really, really good dark comedy. Sometimes bridges on dramatic territory, but I don't think that's a weakness. I think that's a strength. It's just a really fantastic show. I want more people to check that one out. I would give it to Barry.
But yeah, but I believe that is all the awards.
Okay.
As of yet, there's no host for the Emmy Awards. I think they will probably be announced close to the time. There's talks that Chris Rock was asked to host, but I think he declined it.
Wow. Yeah, maybe.
Afraid of Will Smith turning up and slapping him. Probably
he wasn't nominated, so.
Well, true.
You never know. Someone else might get really mad at the Emmys.
But But honestly, I think Will Smith is not going to want to slap him again anyway. But yeah, I don't think there's much else to really talk about. But so Chad, where can people find you online?
I do. You can just go over to the Dill Pickle Movie Network. We do Picture This, Draft Day, and a bunch of other stuff like MCU trivia. A lot of the time, Malcolm's been on there. I've been on there. Picture This, we do like we do a year of Best Picture nominees, winners, and we talk about them. We talk about the actors and actresses from that year. We rank them, stuff like that. We do every single year, and but in different orders. This month, we started a series of Lord of the Rings. So we're doing 01, 02, and 03 for this month, next month, and September. And we're having a really great time. We just recorded 2001. That'll probably drop, later. I believe last month we did 1977 in honor of Star Wars. So check that show out. It's very, very fun. We'd like to get more people to check it out. I do Movie Battleground debate. Have a lot of really great time over there. Trivia pretty much everywhere. And then I also, with my buddy Hunter Chambliss, I do a show called Welcome to Primetime. We talk horror, everything horror, shows, movies, true crime, just really anything. Like, we find a fun topic, we're like, hey, let's do that, and we have a good time. We talked Midnight Mass recently, and we had a really great time talking about that. It's me, Hunter Chambliss, and my wife Carrie Webb, and we have a blast. So check that out on the Nerd Entertainment Network, and sometimes I'm on Rankem. That's really fun. But So thank you, Malcolm. This was fun.
Yeah, and you can find me on Take 3, hosting Rankem every Saturday night. This week's episode is going to be 70s science fiction movies. And you can also find me hosting trivia over on Full Metal Trivia. Where I in this tonight we're doing Hawaii 5-0 trivia. This is going to be interesting. And yeah, and basically I'm all over the place. On other channels like the Movie Hero Network and all that. But yeah, with that being said, that is the end of it today. So yeah, see ya.